Hi everyone, this is Hiba from My Little Journal, and today I'm back setting up my February 2023 in my Passion Planner. So I'm going to do a plan with me video setting up my February, but before we start, I wanted to share with you some of the new printables that I'm going to be offering in my Etsy shop for the Passion Planner. I believe these trackers, well, this one that I'm going to share first only fits in your Passion Planner, but you can trim it down or trim out the boxes to fit in whatever journal you're working in or planner you're working in. But I created these printables to fit in the reflection pages in your Passion Planner. If you own a Passion Planner, each month you get 2 pages of monthly reflection. This is not something I fill out or do because this is not my style. I don't like sit there and jot down goals and reflections and things like that. So I wanted to cover these up and make them feel more like something I would use. And so we did these really cute printables with icons. They fit nicely in the Passion Planner. And basically you get 3 printouts, 2 with the icons and 1 blank, just in case you want to stamp or use your stickers or want to type out whatever you want to reflect on or your goals or anything like that. But for me, I really like the icons. So as you can see, they cover those 2 spreads perfectly. And I'm going to be using it to add like photos, stamping, journaling, all the things. And we'll set this up today before I set up my February in my Passion Planner. So these are up for sale on my Etsy shop, and I'm really excited for these. This is going to be a game changer for me to be able to cover up those reflection pages and actually use them. So we have those printables. And I did want to mention that you can use these in the back as well. So as you guys know, I did a bunch of trackers back here and some gratitude pages, some trackers for my reading, to keep up with my Instagram and YouTube and all that good stuff. So you could definitely use those back here too. What I recommend is if you're gonna use them in the back pages, I would trim these off, like those top and bottom portion, and that way you can probably stamp like January or write January and you know which month it is. But anyways, moving on. The other set that I'm offering in my Etsy shop is tracking your shows and movies. As you guys know, I love watching TV and I love watching movies, but mostly TV. And sometimes I watch loads of shows and I forget that I watch them. So basically, I thought it would be fun if I did a TV tracker for my Passion Planner. This one I'm going to be offering in different sizes. So once you purchase this printable, you get it in different sizes. So even if you're not working in a Passion Planner, these trackers will work in different types of journals. So definitely make sure to read the description box on my Etsy post. But anyways, so we're gonna start by showing you the trackers. I have 2 different trackers here. One is with the TV sets. You can trim out your photo and plop it into the set, which I love doing. As you guys know, I do that all the time in my layouts. And probably, you know, if you want, you can add a little washi tape or something there to make it all pretty and cute. I'll probably end up coloring it in the sets when I fill them out. And then we have the TV tracker, which you can add the show. We have the popcorn for your ratings, and then you can track the seasons and how many you watched, which is pretty cute. We also have movie tracker, and you can use, let's see, I have so many in this bundle. You get a lot of trackers in here, and I'm going to show them all to you, but we have the TV sets, so movies to watch, and then you have the trackers, which is a lot of fun. So that is the movies. We have the Netflix one, Hulu. So these are TV. So any shows that you're watching, we have Prime, Apple TV. Like I said, you get all of these in the bundle. Then we have the TV tracker, but blank. So the first one, we have like the numbers for the series, but I did one blank just in case you want to write them out yourself. So that's a fun little add-on. I also did one with movies to watch, TV shows to watch. So if you want to keep up with shows that someone recommended to you or something that you've seen and want to watch, you can add them here, which is fun. Then we have movies on Netflix that you watched, Hulu, again, Prime, and then Apple TV. So basically you have a bunch for movies, and then you have a bunch for TV and series. And then we also included just a blank one for you to use if you want to, make it your own. So these are a lot of fun. I'm really excited about them. Like I said, the bundle is pretty big and you get a lot of options in that bundle, but also it comes with different sizes. So you can kind of make it work for your own journal and your own projects. So I will also set these up today, hopefully, and put them in the back here. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and set it up because might as well. I'll fill it out later. But I do want to use the TV tracker because I'm more of a TV person than movies. Like I like shows more. So we can use those two for now. And then if I end up like changing my mind, I can add some of the rest or the movie one. But anyways, let's go ahead, stick these down, get them ready to track my shows, and then we're going to set up my reflection pages and February in my passion planner. I want to go ahead and stick down my series printables. I do want to document the shows I'm watching at the moment. And right now, actually since 2023, I've been watching Gilmore Girls almost every single day while I'm editing my videos, while I'm working. And I have a little bit to say about it. But anyways, right now, that's all I'm watching. So I'm just going to go ahead and add Gilmore Girls. I think I'm at season 5, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to fill out my seasons. And I will end up printing a photo of Gilmore Girls and adding it in one of my TV sets. So now that that's done, I can move on to my currently page. Like I said earlier, I do want to cover my reflection pages. I feel like this makes more sense to me, and I can add photos, I can add journaling. I'm really excited about these printables, and I can't wait to look at it at the end of the year and see my photos and see my journaling all on these 2 pages every single month. Anyways, I wanted to share with you what I'm using to print my mini photos. I get asked about this all the time. I do use my Ivy printer. Discovered that there's an Ivy printer too, and I did get one for my birthday. I just want to thank my brother and sister-in-law. So I will be using that very soon. But when I was recording this video, I didn't have that printer yet. So I went ahead, printed 4 photos per a sheet. So you get these smaller photos and they fit nicely in the boxes. You can do 2 photos a sheet and it will still fit in those boxes. But I like the smaller ones. I also like to do the 4 because I save money on my photo paper. So once I have my photos in the right spot, I can go ahead and stick them down. I did add a photo for Grateful of my sisters, what I'm eating at the moment. I did add a photo of Gilmore Girls because that's what I'm watching in January, listening. So for the rest of my boxes, I'm going to be journaling. So basically like for wearing, I have lots of things that I'm enjoying wearing right now. So I decided to just add them in the box. The books I'm reading, I want to add all the books that I'm reading in January. Also, there's like projects where I want to write out all the projects I'm working on in January. It's little things like that. So you can really play with these printables. You can doodle if you want. You can add stickers if you want to represent how you're feeling. So you can really go far with this. And I love how it looks. You can see I left celebrating empty because I do want to add a photo of myself for my birthday because I was celebrating my birthday in January. Now that I'm done with my Printables, I can move on and set up February in my passion planner. As always, I like to use this craft sticker paper from Stationery Pal, which I will link in the description box for you. I like to cover that column because I like to keep up with my weeks. This helps with my project life, and I just like to see the weeks more than anything. I will stamp out my weeks using this number stamp from Carrie Bradford. And I like the stamp set because it's double digits and it fits nicely in my column. Since I stamped that out, I want to use that bottom portion of my calendar to keep up with my reading. Last year, I used the same stamp set throughout the whole year, but this year I feel like I want to change it up a little bit and probably use more of my book stamps. So I'm going to start by stamping my open book. This is a Carrie Bradford stamp set. I like to add that open book in the corner. That's a great spot for me to add how many books I read that month. So when I'm flipping through my passion planner, I can just see it right away. And then I'm going to be using a different stamp set from the Paper Person shop to stamp this bookcase, which is so cute. It's going to be perfect for me to add some color. And once I read or start reading my books, I can just grab a screenshot of my book covers and add them in this space. I did want to mention that I do usually color in my numbers where I added that column, the craft paper, just to add a little something to my calendar, but I totally forgot to do that. I will end up going back and doing that later on. Anyways, let's start setting up my weeks. As always, I grabbed my stencil to add my boxes, and then I'm going to draw in my icons for YouTube, Instagram, and my Reading with Hiba book club. If you're not familiar with my Reading with Hiba book club, it is on Instagram. It's always linked in the description box for you. It is free for everybody, and you can join anytime throughout the year. I will go ahead and add those 3 icons in every single week. I like to track my content, my social media. As a content creator, that's something I want to keep up with and kind of see my growth. Once I'm done drawing all my icons, I'm going to grab my gray Tombow marker and just use that to add a hint of color to my icons. I like to use the gray instead of coloring every single icon the color it's supposed to be, just because I don't know what my layout is going to look like once the week is done. And I really don't want the colors of my icons to clash with anything else, if that makes sense. So I'd rather just go with a plain light gray. It's neutral, it fits with any color, and I just prefer that over adding red or browns and things like that. Oh, and I do end up adding a drop shadow to my icons as well. Now that I'm done with my social media, I want to move on to my currently list. So if you've been around here for a while, you know that I like to use that bottom portion of my passion planner to keep up with my currentlies. But it says personal to-do list, so I always cover it up with a paint pen. This time around, I decided to use my black Posca pen, and it worked really nicely. And then I used my white Posca pen, which worked even better. I was so excited because I used to use the Archer and Olive pens. They did really well, but I don't know what it is with the Posca, the white Posca. It was just brighter, it looked better, and it didn't soak into the paper, if that makes sense. So I basically just wrote currently with my white Posca pen, and I'm going to be stamping reading Right above each day, I feel like this is a great place for you to track whatever you want. It could be tracking your exercise, tracking if you're drinking water. For me, I like to keep up with what I'm reading or if I read or I didn't. Basically, if I read that day, I just color it in. And if I didn't, I don't. And it's just a great way to keep track of that. So I stamped reading throughout the whole month. And then I'm going to grab some of my little icon stamps to stamp out my currentlies, and I like to keep up with what I'm reading for that week. I like to keep up with what I'm watching and my happy mail. It's just a great way for me to remember if I ordered something, if I'm waiting on something. So I like to keep up with those three, and they sit in my currently section. Another thing I like to keep up with is my YouTube videos. So I usually post twice a week. I'm going to try in February to post once a week, just give myself some grace a little bit because I've had this channel since 2017 and have been posting all the time consistently. So I think I want to give myself some grace and probably just try to post once a week if I can. So I went ahead and just used my YouTube icon for that. And I will come back in and just add the videos that are going to go up in February. I also wanted to add that my daughter has a week off in February. So I just grabbed my yellow Tombow marker and just added a line through that whole week. And then I'm just going to write no school for the week. That way, when I get to that week, I remember that she has off and maybe we can do some fun stuff together. And now I'm going to be adding my work days. So the bottom section of my Passion Planner holds all my work, what I need to get done for each day. So I basically just write work over that gray line that separates the top from the bottom. And I'm going to go over that line with another gray marker. So I just wanted to deepen that gray line a little bit. I can kind of separate my day. The top portion holds my personal to-do list, and the bottom portion holds my work to-do list. So setting up my month ahead of time is very simple for me. I use almost the same stamp sets throughout every single month. I like to do that because I still don't know my schedule. So I like to keep the stamps that I use just to add a little color and excitement to my planner. Pretty simple and basic. Things like take your time. What's the plan? I mean, basically, they fit into any day, whatever the schedule is. These stamp sets are usually from Everyday Explorers. I love Everyday Explorers for basic words and prompts and things like that. So you can see me kind of go back and forth and use some of those stamps. I also have this weekend stamp. I think it said weekend stories, and I didn't want the stories. So I just trimmed off stories and stamped weekend instead. I wanted to change it up a little bit, but basically I like to stamp weekend on the weekend because I really try really hard not to work on the weekend. Anyways, back to some of my basic words, adding a few things here and there. And as you can see, it's very random. I just go back and forth between the pages and add them wherever the heck I want, and I don't worry about it. The Passion Planner also has this left top corner box that says this week's focus. I like to use my stamps to stamp words of encouragement. So things like work hard or keep going, life is like this, just words that will help me get through the week. And I'm just going to use different stamps for this. I just like to fill that space out. And I've said this before, I do not like my handwriting, so I prefer using stamps. And if you have the stamps, go for it. Anyways, once I'm done stamping out my focus words, I'm going to be covering up my quotes. I love these little sticker booklets. They're so cute. They fit perfectly and they don't cover up the quote completely. It just adds some color. Most of them are pictures of coffee cups, of scenery, flowers. So I like to use these little sticker books to add something in that corner. Again, it just adds a hint of color to my spread. And the best part is it just fits into the planner as if it was part of the planner before you even started journaling, which I really like. Okay, so I want to add a little something to my weeks. What I like to do is keep it simple. I just try really hard to kind of focus on adding a little bit of color before my week starts. Again, I've said this before, I don't like to add too much because I don't know what I'm going to end up adding to my planner. So this is a functional planner, and I think if I add too much stickers, it would get in the way. I do also want to use my washi tape. This is a new goal for me in 2023 is to use more of my washi. As you can see, I have loads. So I'm going to be adding washi to each week. And then I'm going to use some of my larger stickers to fill in these little spaces in the corner. One of my close friends sent me loads of stickers and they're gorgeous, but they're really big and I want to be able to use them. And I think my passion planner is a great place for me to use them. So you're going to see in a little bit, I'm going to grab that little container and use some of those stickers just to add some color. I love this one with the two females. I love it, but it's so big and it's taking up a lot of space. So what I decided to do is trim off some of that white border. It had a lot of that white border, which I do not like. So I trimmed it off, cut them in half, and then added them to my spread. It worked perfectly. So I always recommend this. If a sticker doesn't work for you, try to figure out a different way to use it. You're better off using it on a spread and seeing it every day than it's sitting in your containers and in your sticker books and not being used. I do want to add one of my Reading with Hiba stickers to represent the book club. We do meet up on the last Sunday of the month, so I wanted to remember that, and I went ahead and added the Reading with Hiba book club sticker. And I'm going to grab some of my Tombos and add some color to my stamps just to bring in some color to my weeks. And I felt like the rest of the weeks looked kind of bland. So I grab one of my washi tape shop rolls and I'm going to use some of the flowers from that roll to add to my weeks. As I said earlier, I don't want to add too much, but these washi tapes are pretty neutral. They're really pretty and they don't interfere with my planning, if that makes sense. So I end up just adding them over the gray lines where you have the timeline. And I also add some to the washi tape that I already had put on my spread. So just little tidbits here and there, keeping it very neutral, keeping it simple. But again, using my washi, like I said earlier, I'm determined to use my washi tape. This one is probably my favorite spread out of the whole month, just because these beautiful flowers looked so good. I even removed my black washi, it up a little bit so I can add those flowers underneath it, and it just looks like it's one piece. I don't know, it just looked really cute, and I really like how that one turned out. That's about it. I think I'm just going to go to my currently printable and add some color to my text, and then I call my setup done. Don't forget that I do have these printables up in my Etsy shop, which I have linked down in the description box for you. I'm going to be back very soon setting up my March. I can't believe how fast the months are passing. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.